The feminine principle is not the opposite of the male principle. Just as women are not the opposite of men, we tend to think in terms of opposite because we tend to think in a straight line. We tend to associate everything with logic and with sequence. But there is a new influence, or rather more prominent influence today, which is the influence of the feminine mind. Now, what is this feminine mind? It doesn't think in a straight line. There's nothing straight about a woman. We never approach things in a straight way, and we don't perceive or receive reality in a straight line either. We're very multifaceted. Our whole structure is built in such a way that we're constantly receiving, and it is impressing upon us because we are in a social context that has taught us linearity and how to communicate. We will do so, but this doesn't mean that our faculties aren't all the time working telepathically and subliminally, which is what often drives a man crazy about a woman, that we cannot be predicted. So the feminine is not the opposite, it is a different way. And it is a different way in every sense. Now, the last one to find out about this is woman. This has been going on forever, obviously, but we have not understood it. Therefore, the feminine methodology is not something that we can write down and say, well, it is like this. If you take the example in business today and everywhere where the feminine values are being discussed, we masquerade what is already there and we embellish it, kind of opening it up and making it prettier or softer by using other terminology. But in fact, the feminine method is very chaotic. It is telepathic, subliminal, multidimensional, and extremely flexible. And this is why I've created these women's groups, so that we can study ourselves and document it in some way for ourselves, that we can bring through what really the feminine method is about. It seems inconvenient, it seems irrelevant, but it brings many facets of being, and more than anything, facets of sentience. And this is the big change for us in this age. Now, the feminine is subtle, the male is direct, clear, precise. The male is abstract, the female is pure sentiment. When we bring these two together, we have what we have today. The aspect that is missing is the depth of women. Not only to recognize how we feel and perceive, but what our responsibility is upon this planet in this age. And our responsibility is to work on ourselves. And I don't mean therapeutically, I mean awareness. Our approach to life, not because we decide it, but because we are women, is a feeling one. Now, note that I'm not saying emotions. Feeling. This feeling tends to be coated with emotions. It tends to be affected by and described as emotion. In reality, it is a tuning into the sensitivity and the life all around us, because we are mothers or born to be mothers, or are mothers anyway, even if we don't have children. We are sensitive to everything around us. So our responsibility today is precisely to get out of this emotional modality of being in the center of the world, of things being too much for us, and focus on the development of our intellect and the awareness, the recognition of what the feminine method is about. Now, I know I am addressing, especially in the English language, and those of you who are listening to me, to women who are not hysterical, women who are not emotionally lost. But if we take just a few moments to perceive how much of that still lingers in our belief system, how much of that we are protecting ourselves from, or escaping from, or covering up, we will realize that there is still an undertone of a lot of beliefs that do not belong to the way that we are. So the biggest responsibility for women today is to grow up. To grow up, to assume and to recognize that all that we are yearning for is already inside us and that it depends on us. It does not depend on men at this point. It depends on our waking